Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Let's Play Spirit of Justice, the DLC case. So Larry does things that Larry does and has moved the lantern, apparently, that had the body inside it. So we're gonna figure out what's going on here. I can't remember if we already talked to him or we're in the middle of pressing him, so it's been a week. Forgive me. Okay, I guess we are talking to him then. Alright, so let's press everything else, huh? Hold it! Why didn't you tell us that sooner?
Because I knew you guys were going to be suspicious of me, that's why.
We're suspicious of you now because you tried to hide it. My thoughts exactly.
Well, now I've told you. Happy? So how about letting me go?
No, not yet. We need you to stick around to sort out a few things.
Fine!
The lantern you swapped out was a female pegamoo, a pegacow, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Why did you replace the female lantern with a male one?
Because I was too busy trying not to get caught. I didn't have time to check for little details like that.
If you didn't want to get caught, you could have just left well enough alone, you know?
Whatever! Anyway, when I took a look at the broken lantern, I saw...
That note wasn't addressed to you, was it?
Well, I guess not, but... How could I let my dear sweet Ellie do all that hard physical labor on her own?
It's precisely that thought process that constantly gets you in trouble, Larry.
Besides, this is my big chance to show her how much I cared about her.
Oh, please. Nobody saw you the whole time while you were switching the lanterns?
Nope, I didn't get caught. Not that time, anyway.
Not that time?
Yeah, when I tried to sneak into the reception hall the first time... I didn't have much luck. The Sprocket guys spotted me and nabbed me.
All of my words are failing me right now.
Pretty exciting, don't you think?
No, it's not exciting at all, Larry. Larry, you need help.
And then they locked me up in one of the cabins. Nick, what are you asking about stuff like this for anyway? Shouldn't you be trying to prove Ellie's innocence?
Well, is that statement of his important to this case? Yes, it's important. I had a moment of pause. I'm like, this is Larry. Is this important or not? I don't even know. Mr. Butz trying to crash the reception and subsequently getting locked up in a cabin. I believe these might be important facts in this case, Your Honor. Very well, Mr. Butz. Please add that statement to your testimony.
I tried to sneak into the reception hall, but I got caught and locked up in a cabin.
So you got locked up. Then what happened?
I broke out. Then I started looking for Ellie and wandered into the reception hall again. That's when I saw the broken lantern and replaced it.
Even after they caught you and locked you up, you still went looking for Miss Wyatt? But hold on a minute. Is it Wyatt or Watt at this point?
What is it, Nick?
Maya, doesn't something seem weird to you? Larry is saying he replaced the lantern after he broke out of the cabin.
That's right. Oh, wait. Huh? You're right. It doesn't make much sense, does it?
Mr. Wright, have you found an inconsistency in the witness's statement? Yes, I believe so, Your Honor. Mr. Butz moved the lantern after he broke out of the cabin, but that contradicts with this. Oh, that's interesting.
Take that!
Is that... Yes, it's the broken lantern, Your Honor. Mr. Butz, what you're saying doesn't make any sense at all.
What? Why not?
You swapped the lanterns before the reception began, right?
Yeah, that's what I said, isn't it?
But you also just said that you swapped the lanterns after you got locked up in the cabin for trying to sneak into the reception. In other words, you're saying you swapped the lanterns both before the reception and after reception took place. That certainly doesn't make any sense, does it? Mr. Butz, did you swap the lanterns before or after the reception? Which was it, before or after? There's a world of difference between the two. Well, Mr. Butz?
I guess I can't expect guys like you to understand.
Excuse me?
In a nutshell, it was both before and after the reception.
What? What?
I tried to sneak into the first reception and got locked up.
The first reception? Uh-oh. I don't like where this is going. Oh, here we go.
Then, through the power of Ellie's pendant, time got rewound and we went back to the time before the reception. It was after that when I replaced the lantern. So, it was both before the reception and after the reception. Get it? We went back in time to before the reception. So, of course, the reception would take place one more time after that, right? That's why what I said makes perfect sense.
Mr. Wright, what in the world is this witness talking about? Has he developed some sort of intellectual ailment I'm not aware of since I last saw him? Well...
None of the Sprockets seem to remember the time skip, but I do. And Ellie remembers it too. I think the power of our love for each other makes that miracle happen.
You keep thinking that, Larry. Mr. Wright, I'm sorry, but could you please translate this man's gibberish so the rest of us can understand? So now I have to be the one to explain about the whole time travel thing?
Go on, Nick. I know you can do it.
Looks like you don't have much choice, Nick.
To heck with it. I can't lose any more of my dignity today anyway. The defendant, Miss Ellen Wyatt, has told the defense the following strange story. She said that after the reception ended, she was attacked by Mr. Gloomsbury. She claims that, as she was being assaulted, she made a wish upon her pendant. Please take me back to that blissful moment. In doing so, time apparently rewound itself to just before the reception began. Yeah, that's not gonna fly in here. It what? I know it's hard to believe, but think about it this way. Through the power of the pendant, both Ellen Wyatt and Larry Butz experienced time travel. What? What? No time-traveling tomfoolery in here!
Objection!
What absolute rubbish. Mr. Wright, I've heard my fair share of your nonsense over the years. But this takes the cake. Have you thoroughly lost your mind?
Objection!
Oh great, my dog's going around. But this is simply the conclusion I came to. Using that logic ability you love so much. There are no chests in this game! What? The truth of the matter is, the future president of Sprocket Aviation, Soren Sprocket, has been researching time machines. So, what if a time machine has already been successfully created? And what if that's one of the Sprocket Aviation's top secret inventions? A time machine?
Yeah, I even saw something while we were time traveling. I saw a pterodactyl flying through the sky. Maybe the airship was set to travel through time for their honeymoon trip?
What? A pterodactyl?
Objection!
You can't possibly have any evidence to back up your ridiculous time travel story. Well, as I thought. In any case, I now have the evidence to prove that you're no more intelligent than Larry.
Not so fast now, Edgy. I'm not the same old Larry you used to know.
Oh?
You want evidence? I got your evidence right here. This is a photo I secretly took on the first reception.
What? What? Why do you share it now? Larry! You're full of surprises! Larry! I can't believe you... Well, anyway, good job! If we compare the photos of the first and second receptions and can find a difference, then we'll be able to prove that the reception was held twice. But do you really think such a difference exists? Yes, Your Honor. I just need some time to find it for you. This is preposterous. This is Ace Attorney. Very well. Please show the court what's different then. This is proof positive that the wedding reception was held twice. I believe it's the flowers. They were different in both of them.
Take that!
Please direct your attention to Miss Wyatt's bouquet of flowers. In the photo one of her in-laws took, the defendant is holding a yellow bouquet. But in the photo Mr. Butz took, she is holding a red bouquet.
You're right.
That's impossible. Oh, what does this mean? It means that the defendant really did experience 2 wedding receptions. And she did that when she traveled back through time. What? Time traveling. Oh god, is this for real?
Nick, you did it! You proved Ellen's time travel story to be true.
Yeah, I can hardly believe it myself. It's just as Ellen said, the reception was held twice. This turns every assumption we base this trial on upside down.
Objection!
I don't know, man. Okay, maybe there is 2 receptions, but time travel? I know this is Ace Attorney, but that's pretty wacky. That's like Professor Layton levels of wacky. I refuse to accept such a ludicrous argument. It is pure fiction under the guise of pseudoscience at best. There is simply no such thing as time travel. I know it's hard, but can't you suspend your disbelief for 1 nanosecond, Edgeworth?
I bet sci-fi movies push all your buttons the wrong way, don't they, Mr. Edgeworth? I can totally picture you yelling, "That'd never happen!" every 5 seconds at the screen.
He would.
Maybe you should stay away from movie dates altogether.
That's neither here nor there. This is real life we're talking about. But the proof is clearly shown in the 2 photographs. That's right, Mr. Edgeworth. No matter how Fine, I'll entertain your absurd delusion, if only to demolish it before your very eyes. What? Let's start with this, then, shall we? There's one thing your time travel theory fails to explain. And that is the memories of the other guests there. The defendant and Larry remember the reception occurring twice. But no member of the Sprocket family has even mentioned such a thing. That's because the time machine is classified tech. But why Larry specifically? I'm not done, you bird brain. Bird brain? As I was saying, if the entire family had been sworn to secrecy, then why hadn't they sworn the woman who was marrying into the family to secrecy too? That's a good point. Honestly, all it takes is a little common sense, Mr. Wright. Even still, how do we know that the trip through time did not really occur? There's proof in the photos that it did, and besides, if time travel doesn't exist, well, I'd be a little disappointed, frankly. I was hoping to go back to the days of my youth. Oh my god, Judge. You mustn't allow yourself to be taken in by Mr. Wright's whimsical tales, Your Honor. I've read about it in various literature, you see. And they all say that time travel is just not logically feasible. Ugh.
Maybe our argument was just a little too nonsensical, Nick.
Well, in that case, why don't we put common sense to the test? Excuse me? The wedding reception was held twice. The photos are proof of that. But it wasn't because of time travel. It's simply because the reception had actually been held twice. Isn't that the most reasonable way to interpret the situation? Would you care to elaborate, Mr. Wright? If time travel doesn't exist, then there's only one way to make sense of what happened. Somebody must have orchestrated this strange phenomenon, and that somebody is, everyone at the reception. The gods! What if all of the guests at the reception conspired together to hold the reception twice and keep quiet about it? What? And for what purpose would they conspire to do such a thing? Good question. Well, What? A brilliant deduction, defense. Who's talking? Oh, this guy. I can tell that you are not a renowned lawyer for nothing. I must say, I underestimated you. How so, Mr. Nicody? You have managed to name each event precisely as they happened. You have revealed it all to the light of day. Then that means it was us. We orchestrated the whole thing. Yes, the reception was held twice. But not because of time travel, no. We simply held it a second time. What? Why? Why would you do such a thing? To make it as though the murder Miss Ellen committed never happened. Master Soren figured that if Miss Ellen, who killed Bloomsbury after the first reception, experienced the reception one more time, she would think it was all a dream. It was he who ordered us to make it happen. However, only a few, myself included, knew of Miss Ellen's crime. Are you saying most of the guests attended 2 receptions without knowing why? Indeed. That needed no reason. Master Soren told them to do it, and do it they did. That is the Sprocket way. Then who hid the body in the lantern? We did. But we did not anticipate the petals finding their way in, nor the actions of Mr. Butz. And that's how you intended to cover the whole situation up. Okay, this guy's getting more suspicious because of that. There's just one thing everyone here has wrong. The real scene of the murder was not the hold. It was the Vista deck. What? Then Miss Wyatt's recollection of the events must be correct. I admit we tried to cover this incident up, but the fact that Miss Ellen killed Bloomsbury is undeniable. This is quite a turn of events. Who's laughing now? Okay. Edgeworth. And so it appears we have arrived at the truth at last. Now. Please do feel free to travel back in time, Mr. Wright, and attempt to do this trial over again. Go on. Okay. So first you just gotta go here and return to the time. Okay, no. Let's not get hasty, Edgeworth. I bet you can't do it. I bet I can't either! Your Honor, we will have to hold a separate trial for the cover-up conspiracy later. But as far as this case goes, I believe we are ready for your ruling.
Objection!
No! We need to go check the holding! Just before the defendant lost consciousness during her attack, she said she saw someone strike the victim. It's possible that this third party is the true culprit.
Objection!
You still want us to believe the defendant's words. Perhaps you've lost more than your touch during your time abroad. This third person nonsense is nothing but rubbish, and you know it.
Objection!
But by the same token, how can we trust those who conspired and lied to fool this court of law? For all we know, they might still be hiding something. A valid point. Ugh, you never know when to quit, do you? I don't quit until all the truth comes out, okay? No, calm down, both of you. In any case, there isn't enough trustworthy information yet for me to render a verdict. I suggest we continue the trial after both sides have investigated the matter further. Very well, Your Honor. That was close. Mr. Nicaldi, as for you and your cohort's attempt to cover this crime, your case will be brought to a separate trial following the resolution of this current one. Understood, Your Honor. Well then, this concludes today's trial. Court is adjourned. Bang. I got 7 minutes left. Oh boy. To be continued! We are continuing. That almost took, there wasn't even much left, and that took, most of this video. Jeez. Okay. Alright, back to the Right Anything Agency, I see.
What? So the whole time traveling thing was just a ruse put on by the guests at the reception?
Looks like it. I knew there had to be some kind of trick to it.
Wow, 2 wedding receptions. Can you imagine? I wonder how much that must have cost them.
I have no idea. Just think of all the food. But if you have to ask, you're not rich enough to want to know. Still, if you got the money, it's a pretty good way to cover things up, if you ask me.
You got that right. I'm sure I would have been completely fooled.
Hi, I'm back.
Hey, Maya. Are you all set to go?
Yep. Ready when you are. So, what should we start with?
Let's start with reviewing what we learned at the trial. What Ellen thought was time travel was really just a performance put on by the Sprockets. But other than that, it seems that what Ellen told us was actually all true.
So what really matters right now is the identity of the mystery person Ellen said she saw while she was being attacked.
So who is this mysterious person?
That's the million-dollar question, I'm afraid. But if we want to clear Ellen of any suspicion, then figuring out who they are is key.
I think I'll take toilets for $200 instead, Mr. Wright.
Well, at least there were only so many people on that airship that night. And we know who the mastermind of the whole cover-up plot was, too. So that's good.
You mean the groom? Soren Sprocket, right?
Exactly. He might know something that could help us out.
So then, what am I doing here?
We're keeping you out of trouble, that's why.
I'm a very busy man, you know.
Well, all the other people involved are Soren's family members. So I thought I'd better start by interviewing you. Even if I probably shouldn't trust a word out of your mouth.
Oh, man. I have a really tight schedule, but... oh, heck. What are friends for, right?
Friends, yes.
Okay, pal. Go ahead. Ask me anything.
You do remember it was you who came to me for help in the first place, right? Alright, let's talk to you. Oh, Larry. I want to go over exactly what happened before I stepped... Okay, I want to go over exactly what happened before I stepped outside this office again. Since you were there, Larry, do you think you could help me get it all straight in my head?
If I gotta...
Okay, so the first reception was held at 7 p.m. on the day of the incident. That's the one you tried to crash, right?
Huh? Oh, yeah. That's right. And then they locked me up in a cabin. It was awful, I tell ya!
Too bad we're not here to focus on you, Larry. And then the incident occurred after this first reception at around 10 p.m. Ellen was attacked in the reception hall by Bloomsbury. He forced her out onto the Vista deck and was just about to kill her.
But Ellie fought back and ended up killing old Gloomsbury instead. To cover it up, the family quickly threw together a second reception. That's what Edgy is claiming, anyway. But I know my Ellie didn't do it.
The key point here is the mystery person Ellen said she saw strike Bloomsbury just before she passed out. Did you see anybody suspicious skulking around that day?
Nope, not a soul. Because I was locked up in a cabin at the time.
But you managed to escape and sneak back into the reception hall. That's when you switched the lantern in the event hall with the lantern in the hold, right? Did you see anybody then?
Nope, the place was completely deserted. I guess because that Pierce Butler guy had everybody gathered together somewhere.
That makes sense. He must have been going over the cover-up plan with them. So clearly the murder had already happened by the time Larry got out. They must have gotten everything ready fast and had the second reception soon after that.
Then, after the second reception, Ellie went to clean up the reception hall. And as luck would have it, that's when she found the body and the lantern I brought up. Tried to do something nice for Ellie out of the goodness of my heart, and this happened!
You still don't know exactly what happened during the actual murder itself. You just have to look into it, along with the identity of that mystery person. Alright, this will probably be the last thing we'll talk to him about. So while the murder was taking place, you were locked up in a cabin. Did you see anything unusual while you were in there?
In the cabin? Let's see.
I mean, you did see a flying dinosaur.
Well, there's that pterodactyl flying through the sky. That's pretty unusual.
Oh, right. That drawing of that pterodactyl you saw.
What's with all the air quotes? I really did see it. I swear.
But, Larry, the time travel thing never actually happened. Which means you couldn't have seen a real pterodactyl flying through the sky.
Oh. Are you doubting the eyes of the super popular picture book author?
No, I'm just sure you saw something else and mistook that for a flying reptile.
Eck, you're making me doubt my own eyes. Now I'm not even sure what I saw.
What the heck? I'm pretty sure we already know what it is. When we were investigating the first day, we saw this billboard that was thrown upside down, and if you notice, there was a shape of what looked like a pterodactyl on it. Either way, you have no idea what actually happened at the real scene of the murder?
That's right, and I can say that with every confidence. Oh wow, Would you look at the time? I'd better go. I have a book signing to get to.
Book signing? Whose book?
Whose do you think? It's mine, of course. It's a Laristunim book signing.
I bet you went around and begged a bunch of bookstores to let you do one.
Of course not. They're the ones coming around to beg me.
Looks like I guessed right.
Anyway, I have to go. I'll send you 10 copies of my new book that just got released the other day, alright?
10? That's very generous of you.
What are you talking about? I'm gonna send you the bill too, of course.
Wow!
Just put them down as office expenses or something. Well, see ya!
Thanks, Larry. Wait, Larry! We don't need... he's gone.
Well, I'll take a copy, boss. Oh, and make sure it's signed.
Oh boy. Trucy's not gonna like this office suspense. I love how we're worried about Trucy here.
There goes our first lead. What do you want to tackle next, Nick?
Right, we should really hit the streets now, huh? How about we go see Ellen?
Sounds good, boss. I bet I can cheer her up.
I thought you were going to help Trucy with her magic show again today, Athena. Weren't you supposed to go meet her right out now? Trucy said she was going to practice her new trick on you, if I recall.
On me? Really?
Trucy's show is an important source of income for our agency, you know? You can't leave the case to us, so you go ahead and run along now.
But, boss!
Off you go, Athena.
No! I don't want to die!
Boy, I wonder how Apollo felt when we did the DLC case of Dual Destinies and he got pushed around like that. We better get going too, Maya.
Okay.
Alright, we shall go talk to Ellen in the next video because we are now definitely out of time. So I will see you guys then. Hopefully with less doggy jingling in the background.